Hey everybody, welcome to this Facebook live stream. We're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, we're all over the place. But joining us now, we're very excited. Tomorrow is the kickoff of the Medora Musical and PitchFork Fondue. If you've never been there before, you absolutely need to go check it out. So join us right now, Kaelee Knoell. She's the marketing manager for the Theodore Roosevelt Medora Foundation. Kaelee, welcome to this live stream. For people that have never been to Medora, they're maybe thinking about coming out and seeing you this summer. Tell us what's happening, please.
Yeah, so the Medora Musical kicks off tomorrow, as well as the PitchFork Steak Fondue, a bunch of other downtown entertainment. But if you've never been to Medora, obviously it has a little different landscape than Eastern North Dakota and even mid-North Dakota. So it is a beautiful place out here. Tons of hiking and biking. We're right at the entrance to Theodore Roosevelt National Park. All kinds of shows. The Medora Musical is actually in its 56th season this year, so it's one of the nation's longest running outdoor musicals. So that's really exciting to get to present. And then the PitchFork Steak Fondue, we load steaks onto pitchforks and we dump them into a vat of oil and pull them back out and serve them fondue style with a really great buffet. And so lots of awesome stuff happening out here. Some stuff is already opened, but this is really our big week. Summer's kicking off out here.
I mean, it's so exciting, and it looks beautiful where you're at right now. So for people that have never seen PitchFork Fondue, can you just sort of set the table, pun intended, if you will, what it is actually like?
Yes, so it takes place up on top of a butte. So you drive up this big windy road to get to the top of the butte out here, and then you get in line and you kind of weave through and you see our cooks out there in their cowboy gear, 10, 12, 15 steaks on a pitchfork, and they take it and dump it into this hot vat of oil, big tubs, and they let it fondue a little bit. They pull it out. They'll serve it straight off the pitchfork right onto your tray. You'll go through a wonderful buffet. There's live music up there. The food is incredible. I ate it last night. We had an employee orientation, and oh, it's so good this year, like every year. And it really is the perfect meal to just pair with the Medora Musical. It all happens right up there by the Burning Hills Amphitheater, and it has a gorgeous view, wonderful food. You get to eat outside in the Badlands, so what better thing to ask for?
Well, then the beautiful thing is, because I think what's so amazing about Medora, if you've never been there, I hadn't been there until we went out and we did a show there with you guys, and it's like going into a completely different world once you get into that pocket of Medora, and then you go up, you do the PitchFork Fondue, which is mind-blowing in and of itself, and then you walk over to the musical, and I just remember, you guys have the horses, and I think it was the bull elk, and set the tone, if you will, in the picture of what takes place with the Medora Musical that kicks off tomorrow.
Yeah, so the Medora Musical is really what draws so many people out here, and I understand why. It's such a family tradition, so the first time you come, you're exactly right, Chris. You arrive. Again, the setting is just gorgeous because it's a theater just carved right out of the Badlands. And so it's an absolutely beautiful setting. You can ride our 7-story escalator down or take the walking path, and you'll see we typically have 2 big elk that are up on the hill grazing, which fans love to see when they arrive to the theater. Riding down that escalator, you get a big whiff of popcorn, and it just feels like such a show. And then you get to your seats, and the amphitheater holds 2,800 people. And so you get to your seats, and you get everybody situated, and you're just looking out into the Badlands. You know that the show's about to begin when the band comes out and takes their stand, and they start kind of tuning up their instruments. And I tell you what, Chris, we saw a sneak peek of the opener last night, and it's not a typical Medora Musical opener. We're taking a little different tone on it this year, and I'm really excited.
So in a moment, do tell, but Kaelee, it's so funny. We're talking about the live animals at the show, and right behind you, I think over one of your shoulders, it looks like people are riding horses. I think it's the other shoulder, Kaelee. So that's what I love about Medora. Did I see that right? Are there people riding horses through town?
Yes. Yeah. You know what is so funny, Chris? They did a population count this year. And then they also did a deer population count, and there were more deer populating the town of Medora than humans in the winter.
That's what I love about Medora. It's got that beautiful small town vibe. Okay, so now give us a sneak peek of the musical open and what what the musical is going to be like this year.
Yeah, so for somebody who hasn't seen the musical before, Harold Schaefer, who was a North Dakota businessman, if you ever took a bubble bath, you likely used Mr. Bubble. He created the Medora Musical, and he wanted it to be like a show that the West has never seen. And so it has live horses on stage. It has a big patriotic ending, a salute to Theodore Roosevelt, something for the kids, a light gospel number. And it's all packaged up into this wonderful show that changes every single year. But this year, my sneak peek is that we're starting with the song Celebrate Good Times, Come On. And so what a better song to just kick off a new summer out here in Medora. And so I'm really excited for it.
You know, I'm so happy you're using that song, because I think one of the great things about the show is it's so patriotic that you watch it and you feel like you're celebrating America, you're celebrating North Dakota.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And obviously the ending is always just this big patriotic tribute to the USA. And every year we honor veterans at the show, and we make it a big point to make it a big part of the show. And so it's just interesting to, usually we start with a country song, like last year's This Is God's Country, which was also so fitting, but I think we're all just ready to celebrate some good times together.
So I want to talk about some of the other new things you guys are doing this year. Before we do, just for people that are thinking, hey, you know what, it's Tuesday, it's beautiful, maybe they've got the weekend off and they want to come out and see opening weekend. Do you still have some tickets available, or are there rooms available, or are you guys already all booked up?
Yes to both. We have rooms and tickets available for the PitchFork Fondue, Medora Musical, everything else. The quickest and easiest way to book all of that, if you want to come on out and see us, is right at Medora.com. So.
Perfect. So again, you can see it there on your screen, Medora.com. Go check it out, book some rooms, get some tickets to the musical, and go celebrate. You don't want me to sing Cool in the Game, but go celebrate America. Kaelee, let's talk about some of the other fun things you have going on this summer in Medora.
Yeah, so actually right behind me here, on the other side of this butte, we have brand new point-to-point park. So last year we opened a brand new mini golf course, 18 holes, twice the size of our old mini golf course, and now cuts across the street into the Badlands. The Manitou point-to-point zip line we opened last year as well. People love that. You kind of load in at the bottom, get pulled up, and shoot back down. But then brand new this year over there is Pancrat's hiking trails. And we're really excited about this. They just wrapped up this huge ladder that'll take you from probably 3/4 of the way up the butte to the top of the butte, so that you can stand on top of this butte behind me and overlook the town like Harold Schaefer did when he first came to Medora and decided that he was going to put his time and talent into making what it is today. So a really fun hiking excursion. It's the only place in Medora that you can step directly from downtown street to trail and have a great family hiking experience. And it just ties so much to history, with it being a special place that Harold Schaefer stood.
Kaelee, next time, can we do this with you doing the zip line?
Yes.
Honestly, the zip line sounds amazing. So where is it at, and how high, and what's going on there?
Yeah, so it's right over by the Badlands Motel. You'll see it right as you enter town if you're coming in from the east. And so it loads in kind of halfway down this lot that we have. There's a lot of construction happening over there this year because we're opening the rest of Point to Point Park next year. But you load in, it's 2 people. It pulls you up. You go up about 250 feet in the air, and then it kind of releases you and you glide back down. And it is a wonderful view of the entire town. You'll get a better view if you hike, but if you want the easy way out, just zip on up with the zip line and you'll see a very similar view. And so it's a really fun ride. I did it once last year. I'm kind of a chicken though. And so I think I'll have to hit it up again this year.
Is it scary?
You know what? Going backwards is scarier than the release.
I need to do that. So I'm looking forward to it. You mentioned mini golf, but also you've got one of the top golf courses in the country, maybe the world, in Medora as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Bully Pulpit Golf Course, just right outside of town, took the list as a top 100 public golf course a few years ago. Since then, it has went through a couple floods and stuff, and so this year we're actually putting a lot of time and effort into repairing and changing some of the holes out there, so that we can kind of preserve it and just have it live back as a top 100 public golf course for years to come. And so the golf is still so great out there this year. Golfers will just notice a little bit of construction, which is really exciting to know that a course that was already so much fun to play is just going to become even better.
So, Kaelee, we're going to be previewing different great things that are going on in Medora throughout the season, probably like every Tuesday or so. So, talk about how you got the gospel choir. What are some of the things people can expect as we do these Facebook Lives?
Oh man, we will talk about all kinds of stuff. So we have so many free shows playing back downtown this summer, which is something that we did away with a little bit last year. So we're hoping to bring on some of those people like Tom Brousseau, who is a Grand Forks native and is now doing a folk show. Like you had said, Chris, the gospel brunch. So bringing on Emily Walter, who stars in that show, and that show is going to be new and different than this year than it has been in the past. Bringing on some of the Burning Hill Singers, because Medora is not only a tradition for the families that come to see us, but it's a tradition for a lot of these performers. They go off and perform in Dollywood and Florida and New York during the winter, but so many of them come back here, and like Chet and Candace have been here for over a decade. And so it really becomes part of their tradition as well.
Wow.
Yeah, and we'll talk about some more project updates that we're working on. We have some awesome new shops downtown and stuff that we would love to feature and tell you a little bit more about. So a lot of new stuff happening out here in Medora to complement all of your favorites.
And we didn't even touch on the park. I mean, do you want to take a moment and touch on, because the park's incredible. You go over there and it just is so peaceful, and the wildlife, maybe see some bison.
Yeah, so you are right. Theodore Roosevelt National Park, it is great that you can literally walk 10 steps and enter the national park, and it has some of the best hiking trails that we have out here in Medora. Yeah, you'll see bison. People love the prairie dogs, which are always out here. Wild horses, and so it really is just steps from being in town to right in the national park, getting to be just submerged with the Badlands and nature, and kind of feel part of what Theodore Roosevelt felt when he came out here and just wanted to be one with the land.
Kaelee, it looks beautiful there today. Thank you for the time. Again, it's the opening weekend for the Medora Musical, PitchFork Fondue. If people want to get tickets one last time, Kaelee, what website do they go to? What do they need to do?
Head right on over to Medora.com. And if you want to stay up to date with everything happening from day to day in Medora, you can download our new app. We're on the R Town app, so just the letter R and then town. And set Medora as your location, and you'll see everything happening all summer long.
Awesome. Kaelee Knoell, again, marketing manager for the Theodore Roosevelt Medora Foundation. Great stuff. We're going to continue to do these roughly every Tuesday or so. So a lot more to share with you that's going on in Medora throughout the summer. Please carve out your schedule and give yourself some time to go out and just be in heaven on earth. Kaelee, thanks so much. We'll talk to you again soon, okay?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you.